Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and stay tuned by clicking the bell icon. Gladys and Dr. Montague try to gaslight Sasha, and Cody confesses his involvement with Selina to spoil her. Today on General Hospital, Liz and Finn try to help Portia and Curtis out. Nina and Carly have words, and Sam checks on an injured Molly. At Kelly's, Carly is on the phone with her mom telling her everything is going great, and people are pouring in. After Carly ends the call, Nina enters and tells Carly there is something she needs to say to her. Nina stops, is puzzled that Carly's behind the counter, and asks if she works here. Carly says she owns the place, and Nina says that's good for her. Nina tells Carly about her visit with Willow. Carly asks when Nina will learn, and that she needs to give Willow time and space and let her reach out to her. Nina says Willow did. Willow has included her in her bubble, and she has Carly to thank for that. Nina explains she had a wonderful visit with Willow, and assumed it was because Carly dropped her vendetta against her. Carly blurts out, "Who says I did that?" Nina assumed they were putting this feud behind them, and she wants them to get along for Willow's sake. Nina says they are family, but Carly says they aren't. Carly tells Nina that family gives, and all she does is take, including taking her entire life. Carly says she might be having a bit of a setback, but she'll get back everything she's lost. Carly heads into the kitchen. Nina follows Carly and asks if that is a threat. Carly says maybe, or maybe it's her mantra. She tells Nina to get out of her kitchen and take a seat in the dining area. Nina says she lost her appetite and exits. At the hospital, Finn finds Portia crying in the lounge. He asks if there is anything he can do. She explains this whole thing with Curtis is just catching up to her, and she's not sure what to do. Finn slyly texts Liz, then brings her some coffee. Liz checks in on Curtis, and he asks if she's here as a nurse or a friend. She says she's always his friend but has to check his vitals. Curtis has a favor to ask and says he doesn't want visitors, especially Trina and Portia. Just then, Liz gets Finn's text. Liz arrives in the lounge, and Portia asks if she's seen Curtis. Liz answers she just did, and he's asked to limit his visitors. Portia assumes that means her and Trina, which Liz confirms. Finn decides to leave them alone to talk. Liz asks what happened, and Portia cries Curtis wants nothing to do with her. Portia has seen patients react this way, but Liz says this patient is her husband. Portia admits their marriage is also part of the problem as they were at odds when he was shot. Curtis has convinced himself she's acting out of pity, which isn't true. Portia cries she took her vows for better or for worse, and Curtis is determined to push her away. Portia knows this is partially her fault, as she kept Curtis from knowing Trina was his daughter for 20 years. Liz thought he had forgiven her and was forging a relationship with Trina. Portia thought so too, but opens up about Curtis kissing Jordan when they were apart. She admits she was hurt when she found out, and she began to distance herself from him. Liz asks if Portia would still be fighting for this relationship if the shooting didn't happen. Portia believes she would be, and it would have taken time to rebuild trust, but it can be done. Liz says they both made mistakes, but they can both forgive one another. Portia knows she's loved Curtis most of her life. Liz asks what she'll do about that realization. Finn drops in to check on Curtis and lets him know he's here for him and whatever he needs. Curtis says if he wants to be a friend then give him some space. Finn says as a fellow addict, he understands what he's going through. Curtis promises he's not using, and the doctors know his history of abuse. Finn is glad he's handling it for now. Curtis asks what that means. Finn has been where he is, and he's isolating everyone who cares for him. Finn tells Curtis to be honest. How long before he wants to be alone with his drug of choice? Curtis says this is about his pride as a man, and he won't tie down Portia and Trina and have them take care of a helpless man. Finn points out that asking for help doesn't make you helpless, it makes you smart. Finn knows from experience you can't shut out everyone, and he has to swallow his pride and let people help him. Finn says that's when progress and healing will happen. Curtis laughs at him going all woo-woo, and Finn threatens to set up dream catchers and crystals all over the room. He urges Curtis not to push away those that he needs the most. Finn returns to the lounge and thanks Liz for the save earlier. He wasn't sure how to help Portia. Liz explains she needed a girlfriend's shoulder to cry on, and Portia and Curtis are going through hell. However, she hopes they find their way back to one another. She asks where he went. He says he was helping a friend too. Portia storms into Curtis' room and throws several pamphlets down on his bed about what he's really going to be facing. She suggests he read them instead of quack medical stories online. She says they're in this together no matter what life throws their way. She is his wife, and she storms out. At Maxie's, she is on the phone with Ferncliff asking about visiting hours, when suddenly Georgie and James rush in fighting with one another. She orders them to sit on opposite ends of the couch. She warns them if they don't start behaving, then they won't be going to the pool with Grandpa Mac, and instead will spend the day cleaning their room. Mac shows up, and Maxie tells Mac that Bailey Lou is with the sitter, and the kids aren't to go anywhere unless they clean up the apartment. Maxie leaves, and the kids scowl at Mac. Georgie and James soon begin fighting over George's tablet, and Mac tells them if they don't clean, they can't go to the pool. James threatens to delete all of Georgie's Harry Styles songs in her MySpace account. Mac tries to take the tablet, but they all end up fighting over it. Felicia walks in and yells, "What is going on here?" Felicia manages to get the kids to clean and help each other out. Mac doesn't know how Felicia worked such a miracle. Felicia says, "I'm magic." At Sam and Dante's, they enjoyed breakfast with Cody. Cody admits he's worried about Sasha and fears she doesn't know how much danger she's in. Cody says Sasha isn't insane, and she kept thinking he was Cyrus. Dante says that's why she's at Ferncliff, she needs help. Cody isn't buying it. Later, Sam drops by Molly's place. Molly's working on the couch on a laptop and has her foot elevated in a boot. Sam brought her some breakfast and coffee. She asks her sister what happened. Molly explains she was walking down the steps at the courthouse, wasn't paying attention and tripped. Sam asks why she was distracted. Molly says why else, her and TJ's fertility problems. Molly wonders if all these troubles are the universe's way of saying she can't be a mother, and needs to find other ways to fulfill her life. Sam asks how she would feel if she never had kids. Molly admits the rational part of her says it would be fine, but her heart would know something would always be missing. Sam asks if Molly has talked to TJ about how she feels. Molly has, and he wants to have kids too. However, they don't know if they should wait, or should they adopt, or maybe go the surrogate route. She knows there are a lot of options and decisions to make. Sam says they have time to go over their options and she and TJ can make a decision together. Sam notes, and when they do, she'll be here to listen, and maybe one day babysit. Back at Sam and Dante's, Dante asks Cody why he thinks there is more to Sasha's breakdown. Cody is certain there is, as Sasha was getting better every time he saw her, and now suddenly she just crashed. He's convinced the problem isn't Sasha, but the people around her. Dante assumes he's talking about Gladys. Cody admits that Gladys framed him for the bracelet theft because she wanted him out of Sasha's life, as he was trying to warn Sasha that Gladys can't be trusted. Dante asks why not. Cody explains that he overheard Gladys talking to Selina at the Savoy about Gladys selling her Brando's garage, which she did without Sasha knowing originally. Dante asks why they were all at the Savoy. Cody clams up, so Dante says if he cares about Sasha, then he needs to tell him. Cody finally admits that Selina runs a poker game there and Gladys is a regular who loses big a lot. She's lost more than she can repay Selina, and he's sure she's raiding Sasha's accounts to fund her habit. Dante asks how he knows this. Cody finally reveals he works for Selina. He makes sure people win, but not enough, and Selina has threatened to kill him if he discloses this to anyone. Cody notes his life is in Dan's hands now. Sasha wakes up tied to a bed in Ferncliff. She calls out for someone, and a nurse named Andy comes in and explains she's here to help her. Sasha has no memory of being admitted and insists she doesn't belong here. She asks the nurse to call her mother-in-law. Soon Gladys arrives, and Sasha says she doesn't understand what's going on. Gladys realizes she doesn't recall being admitted. Dr. Montague walks in, and Gladys tells her that she doesn't remember, but she tried to kill Cody. Sasha says this makes no sense, she was getting better, and everyone told her that, including Maxie, Lucy, and Brooklyn. Gladys says she wasn't getting better, and they never said that to her. Dr. Montague says she made it all up, it was all part of her delusion. Dr. Montague asks Gladys to step out. In the hall, Maxie appears and asks Gladys to see Sasha. Gladys says the doctor isn't allowing her to have visitors. She's delusional and doesn't remember stabbing Cody. Maxie thinks as her friend she could help Sasha. Gladys relays she thought the same, but there is nothing they can do for her. Maxie knows Sasha was doing better, and this happened nowhere and makes no sense. Gladys understands and suggests they go get a cup of coffee. In Sasha's room, Sasha tells Dr. Montague that she knows she was getting better. She remembers Sonny believing in her and their conversation. Dr. Montague says perhaps because she doesn't want to remember trying to kill someone, she's making up happier memories that aren't real. Sasha knows the conversation was real, and she was getting better. She says everything was going great until she began seeing him and taking the pills that he gave her. Dr. Montague says she's agitated and injects something into her IV as she screams at him to stop. She soon passes out. On the next General Hospital, Trina tells Joss something is going on. Esme asks Spencer if it's a bad sign he hasn't heard from Laura. In Chechnya, Laura and Valentin look for Nicholas. Nana asks Michael, "Are you open to that?" Carly tells someone, "I'll take that as a win." Ava yells at Sonny, "This is how you take care of it." Dante tells someone that he misses them.